Hi, and welcome. Bear with me. I don't really do videos. So this is my first video, and I've probably um, have attempted the first few minutes several times and have deleted it. So I'm not super comfortable talking in front of a camera at this point. Um, but here we go, right? I really just wanted to get on here, introduce myself, explain that I am a certified hypnotherapist and a spiritual coach. And but before we begin, I do want it to be noted that hypnotherapy and spiritual coaching is a holistic approach. Okay, it's for personal growth and well-being. I personally believe that true healing involves the connection between the mind, body, spirit, and emotions. Hypnotherapy can be incredibly valuable. It's a complementary practice. I'm not a medical doctor, a psychologist, or a licensed mental health provider. I do not diagnose medical or mental health conditions, prescribe medicines, or provide any kind of medical advice. Um, the information I share is intended for educational and personal development purposes and should never replace the advice or the treatment of your physician or other qualified healthcare professionals. And I do take that very serious. Now, um, if you do have concerns about your physical and mental health, I do encourage you to seek guidance from your mental health practitioner. If anybody is being treated for any kind of mental health by a their family doctor, or psychologist, or whoever, I do always advise people to talk with them about hypnotherapy, um, and if it could benefit them along with their treatment plan. So, um, but again, I just want to put out there that I am not a medical doctor and I cannot treat or diagnose people by any means. Um, but I do want to educate you about hypnotherapy. I decided to get into it about, I think it's been about 4 years now, actually. And I made that decision based off of this long spiritual journey I had been on, probably 3 years prior to that. And I just knew there was something more to our ability to um, tap into our subconscious mind, and I wanted to learn more. So here I am. I enjoy it. I do work a full-time job, so I do hypnotherapy in my spare time, which is usually evenings and weekends. Um, I actually enjoy doing hypnotherapy at the end of the day with people because they are a little more worn out and relaxed, and it makes it a little easier for them to get into a nice relaxed state. Okay. But first, I just kind of, and if it looks like I'm reading, I kind of am, just because if I don't take notes, I will get off track. So, um, but let's first talk about, you know, when people hear the word hypnosis, some people immediately think of stage shows, swinging pocket watches, pendulums, or someone being controlled against their will. Hollywood has created a lot of myths about hypnosis, and unfortunately, those myths have prevented many people from experiencing a tool that has helped countless individuals create meaningful change in their lives. So let's clear that up right away. Hypnotherapy is not a mind control. You cannot be forced to reveal secrets, lose control, or do anything that goes against your will or your moral values. Um, but, anyways, during hypnosis, you remain aware of your surroundings, right? You can hear my voice, you can think, you can choose to end the session at any time. In reality, hypnosis is simply a natural state of a focused awareness and a deep relaxation. In fact, you've probably experienced this state many times without even knowing it. Um, ever driven home and all of a sudden you realize, wow, that I don't even remember driving by these particular monuments, right? Time just kind of got away from you. So um, you weren't asleep, you weren't unconscious, your mind simply shifted from a different state of awareness. It's very similar to hypnosis. So, why is that state so powerful? To answer that, we need to understand the subconscious mind, right? I like to describe the subconscious mind as the world's most incredible recording device. Imagine from the moment you were born, your subconscious mind has been recording everything you experienced, every conversation, every emotion, every success, every disappointment, every fear, and every joyful moment. And the beliefs that someone spoke over you. Every experience that has shaped how you see yourself in the world. It's like an old tape recorder. It stores those recordings and quietly plays them back throughout your life. The fascinating thing is that the subconscious mind doesn't stop to ask whether these recordings are true, right? They don't. It simply accepts repeated experiences and emotionally significant moments as programs and being operating from them. For example, if a child repeatedly hears, "You're not good enough, you'll never succeed, money doesn't grow on trees, you have to put everyone else's needs before your own," those messages can simply become deeply rooted beliefs, right? So, through my spiritual coaching, I do like to address rooted beliefs, limited beliefs. It is really important. I do like to draw people back to having a hypnotherapy session to kind of release those beliefs. But anyways, back to what I was saying, years later, the same person may struggle with confidence. So that little child that heard all those things grows up and we become less confident. We struggle in relationships, we struggle with success, we believe that we have to work hard to make every penny. And that's a whole nother subject that we can get into at some time. But really, overall, most people struggle with self worth. We without understanding why. Their subconscious mind may say, "I know I can do this, right?" But the subconscious quietly responds, "This isn't what we believed for years." That's why so many people become frustrated. They read books, they listen to motivational speakers, they make New Year's resolutions, they promise themselves they're going to change. Yet somehow they find themselves repeating the same habits and emotional patterns over and over again. It's not because they're weak. It's because they're trying to change conscious thoughts while the subconscious mind continues playing an old recording in the background. The subconscious also helps regulate many of our automatic processes that keep us alive, including breathing, our heart rate, digestion, healing responses, and many of our habitual emotional reactions. It's working 24 hours a day without us ever having to think about it. So it's a very, again, so that's a very powerful tool, right? Like, we don't have to tell our our brains to breathe for us. Our bodies automatically knows. And so when we have emotional responses to something and we're just not sure what it is, somewhere in that recording that has been playing since the day we were born, created an emotional response that makes us react to certain situations, even as we get older. So during hypnosis, the analytic part of our conscious mind becomes quieter. It allows us to communicate more directly with the subconscious mind, where those deeply rooted beliefs and emotional patterns are stored. Instead of fighting against old programming, we gently help the mind create healthier beliefs, new perspectives, and new emotional responses that better support the life you want to live. As a spiritual coach, I also believe healing goes beyond changing thoughts. It's about reconnecting with your authentic self, your soul. You know, there's some great um, tools and perspectives that I like to share with people that kind of helps you become more spiritually connected to your soul. Um, your soul is that part of you that existed before fear, right? You think of little babies, little kids who are fearless. They're gonna try something for the first time, and not knowing that it may hurt them. And so the one thing I heard many years ago was, we weren't created with fear. And I tell people that all the time because there's so many people out there just holding in fear of eating lettuce right now just because, you know, the news is saying that um, there's this bacteria infection people are getting from it. And so, we're influenced to be in a state of fear all the time. And that creates a lot of self doubt as well. So, before life's painful experiencing convinced you that you weren't enough. I believe each of us carry an inner wisdom that often gets buried beneath stress, trauma, expectations, and limited beliefs. When we quiet the noise of everyday life, we create a space to hear that inner wisdom again. For some people, that experience feels like reconnecting with their intuition, and we were all born with intuition. We just forgot how to use it. Um, for others, it's reconnecting with their souls, their higher self, their relationship with God or the Creator, the universe, however you identify as your higher power. Whatever your personal beliefs may be, though, my goal is to create a safe and compassionate space where you can reconnect with the deepest, healthiest parts of yourself. Because healing isn't about becoming someone you're not, it's about remembering who you've always been and who you were created to be. The beautiful thing is this: those old recordings in your subconscious are not your identity. They're simply programs that were created through experience, and just as they were learned, they can also be updated. To me, hypnotherapy isn't about changing you, it's about removing the static from the recording so your authentic voice can finally be heard. So, I appreciate you. If you stuck around this long, I really appreciate you listening to my video. I hope you learned something from it. Um, my goal here is to get people to better understand how hypnotherapy can really benefit you. Um, and in the coming weeks, I do want to share more about hypnotherapy. I have to get used to doing videos and seeing myself on camera because we all kind of struggle with a little self confidence, right? We could do better with that. But here I am, me, authentically me. and I want to help you. So if you would like to book a session with me, I have put my website um, below in the link. I do I will update it. I do need to update my schedule a little bit on there. Um, I I think it's good for now though, so you can go ahead. But I'll put my link in the bio. Feel free to even just email me at contact. It'd be contact@carriesimons.com. If you just want to know more, I'm also thinking about maybe creating a weekly live group session that people can attend. I'm thinking that would be free of charge. I just want to connect people and create a space where we can evolve um, and learn from life, learn from our experiences, and evolve into our higher selves that we were meant to be. So, thank you again for listening. I know I said a lot of ums and hesitated a lot and looked like I was reading because I was. To be honest, I was. I would get if I didn't put something in front of me, I would be my brain would be all over the place. So we all have to learn how our brain works, right? So again, thank you for listening to me. If you want to book a session with me, um, free again, feel free to um, go through my website or email me, and then also um, comment below. Let me know if you have more questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I may answer them on there, or I may create a video answering questions. Okay, so again, thank you, take care, and God bless.